The continuous and bloodthirsty war between the Republic and the Separatists was one that divided opinion amongst the non-fighting population, with some believing that they were fighting for the right cause, and others believing that it was not worth the countless deaths. Even within the Jedi Order, there were questions amongst them as to whether they were growing too attached to politics, but the Jedi Knight Barriss Offee took her disapproval to the greatest of extremities. Deciding to make a stand against what she believed to be a fading, now evil Jedi, she carefully planned the bombing of the Jedi Temple, framing her Jedi companion Ahsoka Tano. After the victimized Jedi is captured, the Jedi fold to the demands of Admiral Tarkin, deciding to firstly expel her from the Jedi Order, then place her on trial in front of a Republic military tribunal. Only the efforts of her master Anakin Skywalker could stop her execution, following a successful pursuit of Barris Offee. But what if Ahsoka's trial had been fair? Would it have changed her mind about leaving the Jedi Order? As you're about to discover, the impartiality of Ahsoka's trial will change the galaxy forever. Admiral Tarkin's holographic form stood in the centre of the council chamber, arguing that Ahsoka must be put in front of the Republic military tribunal. At that moment, the Jedi Knight Anakin Skywalker burst through the meeting, having just apprehended his Padawan. The temple guards blocking the entrance are pushed out of the way, and using his dark side energy, built up from the Jedi's lack of care to Ahsoka, he started to choke Tarkin through his transmission. Although the distance to the Admiral reduced its potency, Tarkin's throat was still constricting, until Windu ordered Anakin to stop. The Jedi Knight ignored the more senior Jedi, but Obi-Wan finally stepped in front of him, and declared that Ahsoka would be tried in front of the Jedi. Saesee Tiin and Ki-Adi-Mundi disagree, due to the evidence against Ahsoka, and all turning to Yoda, the Grand Master looks to Anakin, and decides that they would firstly put Ahsoka on trial, before handing her over to the Republic. Anakin understood the instructions of Yoda, as it had given time to find the real perpetrator, and leaving Senator Amidala and Ahsoka to prepare their evidence, Anakin took his speeder and plunged down into Coruscant's underworld. The Jedi Knight could see the hooded figure of Ventress, and the former Sith assassin moved quickly to try and avoid his grasp, but jumping from the top of a bridge, he placed his lightsaber at her neck. The Night Sister briefly hesitated, before telling Anakin that Barriss had taken her lightsabers, so he cautiously went to the quarters of the Jedi Knight. Anakin soon sensed danger, and summoning the two blades of Ventress from a hidden corner, he ordered for his clone troopers he had placed on standby to arrive and take her to the Chamber of Judgment. The Jedi are about to expel Ahsoka from the Jedi Order, when Anakin arrived with Barriss, much to the shock of Ahsoka and the Jedi, who had been expecting Ventress, and she proudly declared to the Jedi that she had done it to show that the Jedi were the source of real evil, and they were too embroiled in politics. Anakin is relieved that he had managed to arrive in time to ensure his Padawan would not stand in front of the Republic military tribunal, and returning to the Council Tower, the Jedi decide to make Ahsoka their newest knight. Reluctantly accepting the role, she suggested that Anakin should be given the rank of a Jedi Master, before returning to move her possessions to her new quarters. Although the betrayal of Barriss had been painful for the Jedi Knight, the words of Barriss towards the Jedi were what had caused the greatest concern, as she began to think that she had been correct about the Jedi Order. Against the wishes of her master and the Jedi, Ahsoka discreetly made a short journey to the Republic military base, and bypassed the patrolling Coruscant guard to see the real perpetrator behind the temple bombing. Ahsoka struggled but succeeded to control her anger towards Barriss, and forcefully asking her if there had been anyone else behind the attack, she denied the allegations, until Ahsoka saw the traitor's throat beginning to close. Turning around, all of the clone troopers were on the floor, and she managed to catch sight of a small shadow moving in a blur, and she pursued it, simultaneously calling for Anakin to help track down the attacker. But despite her immense agility, Ahsoka struggled to get past the blast doors, and piercing her blades through one that was closing, she felt a painful current pass through her as she lost grip on her lightsabers, then fell to the floor. Awoken several rotations later, the Jedi had examined the surveillance footage, and it was clear that a form of Sith lightning had been used to attack the Jedi Knight. The Jedi knew that it was not Dooku, as he would not dare to risk such a close encounter with the Jedi, and the Council realised that the former Jedi Master was merely an apprentice, and the Sith Lord was elusive. By returning to Barriss' cell to try and investigate the area, the imprisoned Jedi Knight had disappeared, and calling for all security on Coruscant to capture her, she was nowhere to be found. Even Jedi Master Terra Sunube could not find any trace of her in the underworld, and the Jedi left to wonder what her true motive had been, before one of many communication clone officers interrupted them and revealed that they had intercepted a transmission from Count Dooku. Allowing the clone officer to activate the holographic recording, the Jedi are shocked to see Dooku holding their former Jedi Knight Barriss Offee in a force cage and repeatedly shocking her. The Sith had no intention of killing her, but rather had plans for making her his new apprentice, after his master brutally cut his ties to Asajj Ventress, and the Jedi debate on whether or not they should mount a rescue. Most of the Council are in agreement that Barriss should first be tried in absentia by the Republic Military Tribunal, and providing evidence for the missing Jedi, Palpatine pronounces her execution. The Jedi have no choice but to leave her with Dooku, but this did not comfort Ahsoka, who felt somewhat apologetic for Barriss, despite her betrayal. Her master could sense this as well, and making his own interpretation of the Council's instructions again, he and his former Padawan decided to try and track down the Sith and his new apprentice. But on their journey into Separatist airspace, they receive an urgent order from Grandmaster Yoda that their assistance was needed on the space station of Ringo Vinda. This detour was not unwelcome for the Jedi, as they realised that Admiral Trench could be used to try and find the Sith, so rather than join the Jedi Masters, the Jedi Knights decide to launch a daring attack on the Admiral's command centre from the skies. Alongside a squadron of Arc 170 starfighters, the Jedi manage to strike through the rigorous Separatist defences, but they are suddenly ordered back to their command post after the unexpected death of Jedi Master Tiplar. Anakin and Ahsoka knew that they could not lose the advantage that they had gained, and Anakin decided to continue his own attack, punching a hole through the Hyena-class droid bombers, until he found a small landing spot in the command centre. The scuttling sound of Admiral Trench could be heard faintly, and the Jedi Knight needed no invitation to order the 501st Legion to take the base, as he went after the naval commander. Dismissing the surrounding droids with a force push, he placed his lightsaber at the neck of Trench, until he heard a number of clone troopers being obliterated by a chain of explosions. Trench thought he had gotten away from the wrath of Anakin, but holding back the incoming chain of detonations, he dragged the Admiral onto a passing Republic gunship and obtained all of the data he could before the entire station exploded. In the ensuing chaos, Trench managed to press a button on one of his many cybernetic limbs, transmitting a signal to Dooku that he was in danger, and the Separatist leader discusses what should be done with him with the help of Darth Sidious. The Dark Lord of the Sith realises that Trench was aware of some of their plans, and decided that the Admiral must be brought back into the hands of the Sith, dead or alive. Aware that only Anakin would be capable of such a plan to defeat the naval commander, Palpatine decided to use his close connection to the Jedi Knight, and whilst he was on his way back to a Republic rendezvous point, the Supreme Chancellor informed Anakin that he wished to speak to him in his office. Anakin does not resist the chance to speak to his mentor, and asking Ahsoka to take Trench, he travelled down to the surface of Coruscant. Upon the unexpected departure of her master, the new Jedi Knight could sense danger in the Force, and her gunship is rocked by a fearsome blast from a Separatist fleet. Ordering the clone pilot to make the jump into hyperspace, she was met by silence, and she cut through to the cockpit to find the pilot had been struck by a precise shot through the window. Taking control of the ship, she had little time before the cabin completely depressurized, and using a Jedi technique known as breath control, it allowed Ahsoka to slide into the hangar of the Separatist dreadnought. The Jedi Knight was pinned beneath the wreckage and could not remove it with the Force, so spluttered to R2-D2 to return to Coruscant with the data chip and asked for help from the Jedi Council. The trusty astromech was used to such demanding requests from Anakin, and taking control of a BTLB Y-wing bomber that had fortunately landed beside the gunship, R2-D2 flew back to the Jedi Temple. Back aboard Dooku's dreadnought, Ahsoka continued to struggle as more pieces of the ship stacked on top of her, when she heard a terrifying voice that was laced with darkness. Craning her neck at an abnormal angle, the Jedi Knight turned around to see the masked form of Barriss Offee. The former Jedi regarded Ahsoka as fortunate that Dooku wanted her alive, and summoning a group of battle droids to revive Admiral Trench, Barriss took Ahsoka to the observation deck of the ship, where Dooku was waiting. Little did Ahsoka know, this was only a sample of the horror she would soon be faced with. The Sith apprentice turned from the sight of the retreating Republic ships and applauded the efforts of his new apprentice in capturing Padawan Tano and retrieving Admiral Trench. As his master done with him, Dooku ordered Barriss Offee to complete her transformation to the dark side and kill Ahsoka. Bowing to her new master, Ahsoka looked shocked that Barriss was about to attack her, and quickly backing away, she bumped into the intimidating frame of a super battle droid. As it buzzed into life, she saw her lightsabers on Barriss's belt and summoned them into her hands. Deflecting the shots of the droids, Ahsoka was forced to duel with her former friend, pleading with her to stop her path down the dark side. Barriss coldly ignored Ahsoka and used her new dark side powers to try and defeat the Jedi Knight, but before Ahsoka could fall from her fatigue, the lift doors above their level opened and Jedi Master Obi-Wan Kenobi led Anakin Skywalker and a large legion of clones into the ship. This had not been a part of Dooku's plan, and knowing that his master would destroy him for his betrayal, he ignited his lightsaber and dueled Obi-Wan. Anakin quickly rushed to the aid of his master, then took over, leaving Obi-Wan to help Ahsoka defeat Barriss. Leaving her with the clone troopers, the three Jedi managed to eventually disarm Dooku, as his old age betrayed his powers, and the Jedi demand him to tell them who the real Sith was. The Count told them that everything they needed to defeat them was in front of their noses, and knowing that they would get nothing more out of him, they placed him in the vacant force cage to rot. As the trio walked back to their ship, Obi-Wan stroked his beard, and turning to Anakin, he revealed his suspicions about Palpatine's request to see Anakin, as soon as Trench had been captured. Even Anakin could not deny the suspicions of his master, and along with the events that had transpired on Ringo Vinda, he was beginning to move apart from the Chancellor. Having been secretly instructed by Mace Windu to move Anakin away from Palpatine, Obi-Wan decided that he would further the doubts of his old Padawan by heading to Kamino, where Tup was being examined. With the Separatists still reeling from the rescue of Ahsoka, the investigation of Fives into the tumor of his friend had largely gone unnoticed, and after being relieved to see the Jedi, he revealed what he had learned. The Jedi are shocked to hear about the implementation of control chips, and are scared that Palpatine's influence could be far greater than that of a regular Chancellor, so decided to ask the Kaminoans, whom the Jedi believed to be mere scientists. Nala Se and Lama Su guided the Jedi through to the clone embryo room, trying to prove that the chips were to control aggression, but the Jedi failed to believe them, and they moved for an arrest, when several lightsabers pierced through the heads of the Kaminoans. General Grievous had arrived in time to stop the secret of the clones from being spilled to the Jedi, and embracing his new role as the head of the Separatist Alliance, he relished the thought of adding new lightsabers to his collection. The Jedi had other ideas, and Obi-Wan asked Anakin and Ahsoka to return to Coruscant and await further instructions. The Jedi Knights now discovered that their home planet was the subject of a Separatist attack, and they now knew that Palpatine was behind it all. Arriving at the Jedi Temple, the Jedi Knights rushed to inform the Council that the Chancellor needed to be arrested as soon as possible, and they all enter Palpatine's office. Turning to face the Jedi in his seat, he disdainfully applauded the Jedi for their efforts, but now he would show that the Sith was superior. The Jedi took a slight step back as he stood up, and blasting a force-lightning attack out of his hand, those at the front of the group flew back towards the office entrance. Hiding behind one of the walls had been Anakin, and having just received confirmation that Obi-Wan had toppled Grievous, he saw that Palpatine had accidentally tipped the ornate statues from their positions, revealing a well-crafted lightsaber hilt. Placing this on his belt, he charged the Sith Lord, absorbing his lightning attack, until Palpatine summoned his spare lightsaber from the sleeve of his robes, and severed Anakin's non-robotic arm. But this victory for the Sith would be his final one, as the sheer number of Jedi Council members overwhelmed him, and with Order 66 being deactivated on Kamino, Yoda eliminated the creator of all of their recent suffering. The battle had finally ended on Coruscant, and on Kamino, Obi-Wan left the corpse of Grievous behind and headed to Mandalore to complete what he could not previously, helping Bo-Katan to retake our planet and capture Maul. Those who had been conspiring to corrupt the Republic by supporting Palpatine were placed on trial for their crimes, and the Jedi had finally restored their position as the peacekeepers of the galaxy. That is if or what if Ahsoka had a fair trial. If you enjoyed this what if, please like this video, turn on that notification bell, click that subscribe button on this channel, as well as on my other channel What If Films. And as always, leave a comment on what if you'd all like to see next, and how I can improve my videos. Thank you all very much for watching, and see you next time.